there! Would you dare to try a new recipe that's healthy, affordable, and delicious? If so, this red lentil soup is for you. So this recipe is one of my absolute favorites to cook in the winter. It's nice and hearty, packed with flavor, and it only uses a few simple ingredients. The first thing that you're going to want to prepare is 3 cloves of garlic, a medium-sized piece of ginger, 1 yellow onion, 2 carrots, a couple stalks of celery, some red lentils, a little bit of oil for cooking, some vegetable broth, and some salt and pepper to taste. In terms of utensils in the kitchen, you're only going to need a few things as well. You'll need a soup spoon, a cutting knife, a peeler for your carrots, a measuring cup, cutting board, and a cooking pot. First thing you want to prepare is mincing the garlic and the ginger and dicing the onion. So, we'll set everything up on a cutting board. I always like to cut the ends of the garlic off first, and then I take my knife, and carefully of course, press down on it, so that frees up all of the extra skin, the kind of shell of the garlic, so all you're left with is the actual clove itself. Next I'm going to mince it. So I have a little trick. I like to keep my hand at the edge of the knife, and I kind of just speed chop my way through. Find this gets pieces nice and small for me. Gather it all back up together. So you're going to want to chop up about 3 cloves worth of the garlic. If you're a big garlic lover, sometimes you can throw in an extra one. And if you don't love the taste, you can always throw in just 1 or 2. Next up, ginger. Ginger is one of my favorite flavors in the world, and it's super easy to bring a little extra something to a soup or stew. So the first thing you want to make sure is that you got the ginger peel, so there's none of the kind of hard excess skin around it. And you don't need to use a peeler for that. You can always just take a knife and just kind of cut off the sides like I'm doing. And then when you're finished with that, we'll mince up the ginger the same way that I did the garlic. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay if there are a few little chunks here and there, but the idea is just that we want to slice everything up so that the real flavor from the ginger starts to come out and really starts to be cooked well into the soup with the rest of the ingredients. The next thing that we're going to chop up is the onion. I like to use yellow onions. You can use Spanish or white, but I find the yellow has a nice sweet taste to it. So I always chop off the head and the bottom of the onion. You'll definitely want to get off the kind of hard peel as well. You don't want any of that ending up in your soup. And then just make sure any of those little skins are off it as well. And then I like to dice these up. So cutting it in half first, but when I've chopped them horizontally first and then vertically, you see what happens is I end up getting a bunch of little squares, which is what I'm after. So that's my trick for cutting onions. Tearing up! So next we want to rinse our veggies. We want to peel our carrots. So now we're going to take our chopping knife. We're going to make sure that we get rid of both the head and the bottom of the carrots and the celery. And now we just want to chop up our vegetables into bite-sized chunks so that they can cook properly when we throw them in the pot. So today I'm cooking for a few more people, but the recipe that I've set out for you is for 4 people, 4 servings at home. All right, now comes the fun part. We're going to cook everything up. So we're going to head over to the stove with our onion, our garlic and our ginger to begin with. Put your heat on medium-high. We're gonna measure out 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. You can also use olive oil if you have that at home. Either one will work fine. I'm gonna add that to the pot. And since I'm cooking for a few more today, I'm just gonna add a few more tablespoons of oil. Just make sure that the bottom is evenly coated. So you're gonna let the oil heat in the pot just a little bit on its own. And after a minute or two, you can pour all 3, the garlic, the ginger, and the onions, all into the pot together. So you're gonna leave the onion, garlic, and ginger just to sit in here for about 5 minutes. Just wanna make sure that the onion becomes softened, and you'll start to smell the garlic and ginger as it cooks. So make sure to keep an eye on your onions and garlic and ginger. But as this is cooking, I'm gonna head back and measure out the lentils. So for the 4-person recipe, you're gonna need 2 cups of red lentils. So our onion and garlic and ginger look pretty ready to me. They smell delicious, and you can see the onions have a little bit of a shine to them. They're kind of nice and soft. And now they're ready to add the rest of the veggies. So you're gonna continue stirring that vegetable mix for about 5 to 10 minutes until the vegetables start to soften a little bit as well. So once the rest of the vegetables are softened a little bit more, you can get ready to put the lentils in. To make the soup a little more soupy, we're gonna add 3 cups of vegetable broth as well as 3 cups of water. Once you've added your vegetable broth as well as your water, you're going to bring it to a boil, and then you're going to cover the pot and reduce the heat to a simmer and let that sit for about 15 minutes to cook and really come together. Mix that up nicely. And there you have it, the red lentil soup. I like to serve this typically with some toasted bread or a few crackers, or it also goes just great on its own. And you can always add a little more salt and pepper to taste as well. Let's try it out.